Hello, my name is Shantanu. I am legal intern at Lexus & Company. Today I am going to talk about doctrine of waiver. The doctrine of waiver is legal principle that allow an individual to voluntarily relinquish or abandon a right that is otherwise available to them. In the context of fundamental right, the doctrine of waiver allows the individual to waive their voluntary and knowledgeably. However, the waiver must be made the full understanding of the consequences of such waiver. For instance, if the individual is arrested by the police, they have the right to remain silent and not incriminate themselves. However, if the individual voluntarily decide to confess to the crime, they are waiving their right to remain silent. Similarly, if the individual is asked to undergo a medical test, they have the right to refuse such a test. However, if the individual voluntarily agrees to undergo the test, may the waiver the right to refuse the test. Limitation of doctrine of waiver. While the doctrine of waiver can apply to fundamental right, it is subject to certain limitation and condition. Any waiver of fundamental right must be made voluntarily and with full understanding of the consequences. A waiver made under duress, coercion, or undue influence would be considered invalid. Furthermore, certain fundamental rights such as right to life, right to dignity cannot be waived as they are considered non-derogate. This means these rights cannot be suspended or set aside even during the time of emergency or national crisis. Case laws on doctrine of waiver. In the landmark case law of Behram versus State of Bombay, the Indian Supreme Court held that the doctrine of waiver does not apply to the legislation enterached in Part 3 of Indian Constitution. It allowed observe the fundamental right are merely statutory right, but based on idea of enshrined in the Indian Constitution framework, which cannot be renounced or relinquished by the accused person. Fundamental rights are an issue of national policy that cannot be abrogated. Thus, the doctrine does not apply to issue involving constitutional